What's up, fam? And welcome back to the third episode of the Handmaiden podcast. In this podcast, we'll be focusing on healing in general. We'll be dealing with the mind, body, soul, and spirituality topics. If you're joining us through the podcast sites, you can go to my YouTube channel, Naima Laverne, where you can see this presentation in video format. I'm a visual learner. And I know some people are auditory, they can just hear something and they'll get it. But for me, I have to see it. So I've created this content in two different formats. So if you go over to Naima Laverne on YouTube, you can see this video as well as the other podcast. And if you go to my website, restorepeaceandharmony.com, of course, when I would start recording, the phone would ring. But we're just going to go with it, guys. So you can find it on restorepeaceandharmony.com, where you can actually listen to the podcast and just check out the website in general. So today's podcast is going to be about the chakras, and right now how they are being awakened, or what some may say they're coming into a beautiful harmony. We talked about in the other episodes how, this was a great awakening. So what's actually happening now is the Most High is actually bringing your soul back into beautiful harmony. And so we're going to take a look at just some of the things that's going on right now with our body and with this awakening. Comment down below. Let me know if you're from YouTube. Tell me where you live, where you're located. I'm always interested to see where people are tuning in from. So let's go ahead and jump right on into this. So in episode 1, we talked about the cosmic awakening. We discussed the age of Aquarius, which is really the time of the Holy Spirit, who is preparing earth and man for the Messiah's reign as Prince of Peace, right? That's that time, that golden age is what some people call it. That time where everything is peaceful, loving, kind, like Eden, We also discussed how the Schumann Resonance exists at the same frequency and strength as human brain waves, being a landmark of consciousness. We also show how the sun is working to raise man's consciousness and his awareness of who God truly is. Okay. And we also talked about if the power of the Schumann resonance increases, then the vibratory strength of human brain waves increase as well. Right. In episode 2, we discussed the twin flame awakening, because we hear so much about this twin flame awakening. We offered another perspective to the twin flame awakening in that episode. We took a closer look at the constellation Gemini and discussed how it plays a role in the awakening. We also looked at Andromeda and Cassiopeia, right? Because this awakening has to do with the soul awakening. That's why we're getting into the chakras today. We discussed the conscious and the subconscious mind. We said that the conscious mind would be more masculine and the subconscious mind would be feminine, right? Replicating creation, right? And we talked about the split that happened with the mind during the fall and the marriage of the mind that has to occur now. That's why all of this is happening, the marriage of the mind to the divine mind. And we discussed how the divine mind was actually God, the first consciousness, and that we are sparks that come from him. What I want everyone to understand is that, and this is what Christ was trying to show us, is that we are part human and part divinity, but we're really divinity, right? But we've lost that. That's why the prophet said, how long will you go between two opinions? Meaning, how long are you going to stay in two realities, two mindsets? If you're for God, be for him. And that is you coming into the awareness of who you truly are. One day we're going to cast off this flesh, this body, this vessel, and we're going to go back to what we were, which is light. But there's a process that has to happen before we can take part in this, the Messiah's reign as Prince of Peace. We have to be married back to that consciousness. We have to be walking back into that divinity. And so all of creation, everything is happening to bring us back to that oneness. Christ used to say, the Father is one, is in me, and I'm in the Father. We're one. And it's the same thing with us, you guys. We are one. He is one with us. And we brought that out in that video. I love the books in remembrance when it talks about with Kava and Yasakad, how he wanted to get back to Eden. That was his lifelong dream, to go back. See, once we've been in the presence of the Lord and you know what that's like, and that beauty, that lovingness, that kindness, that pureness, you want to get back to it. And that's what he wanted, right? And that's why Adam was able to name all of the, give everything a name and identify, because he knew the heart of God. He knew what God would say, right? And that's what we call the consciousness. And then we had Kava, the feminine. And if you look at the books of remembrance, it says how she used her influence and her everything to help support what he wanted to do. And it's the same way your conscious mind and your subconscious mind works. The subconscious mind is going to, if the conscious mind tells it something, the subconscious mind is going to go and make it happen. But what's happened in our world with this split that we had with the fall, in our minds went into a disassociative identity, right? Because remember, if you were to remember, you guys, my cousin and I always have this conversation. If the Lord was to move the veil and we saw exactly who we were, a lot of people right now would commit suicide. Trying to get back to that. So he has to release it slowly. Yes. Just think about it. So humanity has actually gone into another personality, because if you were to remember that, woo. And so now what's happening is we have to come out of that identity, which is full of just ego. We have to come out of that. And so that's why all of these things are happening, to bring us out of that reality and bring us back into our true nature, who we truly are. Right? So let's just jump into this. So the Schumann Resonance, we're going to talk about that a little bit and then go into the chakras. This video, you guys, is dear to my heart. It is very dear to my heart, because so many times people, in these different religions and Christianity, they used to say, stay away from talking about the chakras. That's New Age. But I'm sorry, I thought we were preparing for a New Age, the Golden Age, right? What I am doing is bringing back the Father into this, as he deserves to be brought back into this conversation. And we're going to go in depth today. Go and get your journals, go get your notebooks. These videos are a little extensive because I was gone from you guys for so long, but sometimes I want to break the videos up, but I can't, because it's going to disrupt the flow. So they're a little long. Take some time. When you have time at home, just sit back, listen to it, watch it, whatever. But definitely let the video play all the way, you guys, because this information it's a game changer, right? When you know who you really are. All of society, I talked about in the last video, has they know how we're created, and they know that you are a co-creator, right? You're a co-creator, whether you know it or not. You say something bad, you are creating. You think something bad, you're creating, right? We talked about the emotions and all of that. So society knows that you are a co-creator. And so what they have done is they have reprogrammed your subconscious mind so you can create for them. The religions, these systems, even like some of these groups and camps, you guys, man has been reprogrammed over. They know how you are created and that you are a co-creator, right? And I spoke about in the last video that this knowledge, you guys, that these people know this, but they use this knowledge to gain wealth because they know if they can speak something, if you get collectively a lot of people to think the same way as you, then you're going to create something there, right? They've been creating systems, a poverty mindset, lack, diversity, scarcity, scarceness. You guys, I mess up on words all the time. Just keep it real. And that's another thing. If you, like the first podcast I did, I was a little nervous, and I don't know why, but, and I was messing up on words and stuff. But you know what? If fear is what is holding you back from doing something, that's not a good reason. Fear is ego. Just thought I'd add that. Anyway, let's jump into this, guys, because there's a lot of information. I'm excited to be back on with the people and share what the Lord has been showing me over the last few months. Now, this is a different perspective. All right. So, Schumann Resonance. We know from the first episode that not only is the Schumann Resonance linked to the brain waves, but instead to the entire human bioelectrical system, specifically changing the activities of the heart and the autonomic nervous system. So I have a picture up here, right? And we're going to get into what all this entails. So the autonomic nervous system, which is called ANS, formerly referred to as the vegetative nervous system, is a division of the peripheral nervous system that supplies smooth muscle and glands and thus influences the function of internal organs. The autonomic nervous system is a control system that acts largely unconsciously and regulates bodily functions, such as heart rate. Now, these are things that the subconscious mind is actually doing, guys. Right? Just automatic. It's not something that you're thinking about, oh, let my heart beat today. No, this is automatically happening, right? Subconsciously. You're not even aware of it. So it regulates your heart rate, digestion, respiratory rate, urination, sexual arousal, and then this system is the primary mechanism in control of the fight or flight response. Now, that fight or flight response, that puts a lot of stress on the body. And a lot of people are in that fight or flight response. And let's just jump into it and talk. Here we go. So what I wanted to show you was the actual body and the different chakras and the glands that are associated with the different chakras. So when you think about the root chakra, which is the base, that's the adrenal glands. Then the sacral, that's the gonads. Then the pancreas, which is the solar plexus. And then you have the thymus, which is your heart. And the thyroid, which is the throat. The pituitary gland, which is your third eye. And then the pineal, or either the pineal gland, depending on how you pronounce it, that would be the crown, right? So let's jump into each of these, okay? And you can go back and stop and take a look at it, and for your own reference, okay? All right, so let's talk about the chakra wheels of light. Now, the chakra centers of energy alignment connected with the human body were biological clocks that work together with external energy fields so as to provide for a mutual portal line between complex spiritual, mental, and biological networks. Basically, that's the Schumann resonance, all this light, everything that's coming into the earth. It is for you in a nutshell. Earth is going through a transition, and so is the human soul. Now, the chakras are different intelligences or different frequencies of consciousness. I'm going to say that again. The chakras are different intelligences or different frequencies of consciousness. Consciousness being awareness. Now, the majority of the people on the planet, their consciousness is in the root chakra. And if you've been with me for a while on my YouTube channel, we talked about the soul in a video like last year when we were talking about the sealed portion. And so we've kind of already touched on this, but we're going a little bit more into detail. And I'm also showing you how the planets, stars, they're all in on this awakening. Because if you think of the stars and the planets, I want you to know that they are higher level of consciousness, right? They are the storehouse for the Holy Spirit, which is then Most High is the number one consciousness. He is the great consciousness, and we all come from him. So they are also extensions of that consciousness as well. And if you take a deeper look at them, they're showing you the movement of God, but it's actually really showing you the mind. It's showing you what he's doing right now in this earth, right? And that's what I want us to really take a look at. What is really going on? There are messages that's being sent to us. This is beautiful. Let's just go. All right. So if your consciousness is not operating from the heart chakra and up, this is going to be kind of hard for you to understand this information. It may be for you for a later date, but listen, take notes, ponder on it, reflect on it, get alone in some quiet time, focus your mind, and it'll all start coming to you. Trust me, I've lived this. All right. So here is just a basic, this is not even basic. This is like a model for you to look at with the chakras. And I want to get into these geometric figures also, because that's deep too, you guys, especially you guys, when we talk about water. Ooh. All right, let's go, y'all. So energy force, energy, really just, it's a force of God. You guys, you have negative energy and you have positive energy, right? When we think of the negative energy, we think in terms of the enemy, right? Satan, right? So I just wanted to make sure we look at that. All right. So energy enters the body in two streams, like a battery with a positive pole and a minus pole. Now, I told you guys that when you think of what's going on up in the heavens with the planets and the stars and earth and everything, it's the same thing that's going on in the human body. Okay. So you have the North and the South Pole. They're being hit like crazy right now. And that's why, and they're being weakened. And so when they're being weakened, that's why we're seeing all those aurora lights. And that's why we're having so many Schumann Resonance, earthquakes, everything is happening right now, right? Because it's coming from the sun, which is at the center of the galaxy, of our universe. All right. So energy circulates through the body in a system of meridians. And I'll show you that in the next slide. The meridians and the chakras are located in the etheric body, which is the blueprint for the physical body. Okay? Stay with me. Energy spirals through the chakras, connecting heaven and earth energies. Let's take a look. So here you have, this is how the energy oscillates. It goes through the body. If you see, and this is what a lot of people call like the Kundalini, but we'll get into that a little bit more too. I don't want to get ahead of myself, right? And then see, you have over here, the earth, you have the North and the South poles, just like the body. And you see all the energy, the lights, the solar flares and everything going through the earth as well. So that's what I said. Earth is going through a transition, you guys, right now. And so are we. Okay. All right. So energy, it moves through the streams like a battery. And that's what I was telling you. See, North and the South, masculine and feminine, guys, right here. These two poles, masculine and feminine. Gemini. Everything with the Lord is has a masculine trait and a feminine trait. That's how creation happens. Okay. masculine and feminine. And you can go back to episode 2 and see where we talked about that a little deeper, right? We talked about how the Most High is really our true twin flame. All right. So take a look at what I have here on the screen. If you've been with the channel, we talked about when the planets, when they move, they give off what you see here, which is oscillating, which is vibrating. That's another name for vibration, right? They do that. And when they conjunct, they also oscillate also. It's like extremely high energy, right? And so if you look here, you see that? Your brain actually oscillates and vibrates and moves also, even in your body. That's why when we talked about those geometric figures for water, your body does the same thing because our bodies are composed, majority of it is water, right? So what is happening in the heavens here is actually happening within your body as well. Remember we did a video on water. If you didn't go back and catch that video, we talked about that researcher who discussed water and discussed when you speak to water, it would change. If you spoke harshly to it, it would change the geometric pattern or figure, right? And that's the same thing that happens inside your body with different situations. So let's jump into it. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray, God, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless to the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. So once again, the age of Aquarius is preparing you. The Holy Spirit is preparing you to reign with the Messiah in the new millennium. It has to prepare you. We cannot go in there as we are right now. The light will be too consuming. And I want to talk about this crystal right here because your body also is made up of all these crystals. Your body, the human brain alone has thousands of crystals. You know, so when you talk about the Urim and Thummim, you guys, you have crystals inside of you also. Everything that we see in the Bible that played out physically is something that happens inside of you already. You are the real Ark of Covenant. I'm getting beside myself. Let's keep moving. Some people are having PTSD right now. What? She said we have the Urim in us? Yes. Yes. It was a tool for communication. How do you, yes, guys. But we haven't been walking in our divinity. Kepler's heavenly harmony of the spheres. See, God is coded within every biochemical function of our body, especially your DNA and RNA matrix. You are a matrix. And we spoke about this on the channel. And when I spoke about this before, some people were like, oh, you're getting into this and you're getting into that. You know, guys, I'm not responsible for waking anyone up. All I'm responsible for doing is doing what the Lord has shown me to do, is to give the information. That's it. In this time right now, you guys, the Lord has put it on my heart to discuss his power. Not to focus on the fallen intelligence as much, and unless I'm going to reference it, but to focus on his power and what he's doing for his people right now. So whether you understand this information or not, it makes no difference. It's not my responsibility to be concerned with what people think about me. I just have this job of sharing. All right, Earth meridians. So we know that the body has meridians and so does Earth. Now the meridians are the imaginary lines that cross parallel to the axis on which Earth rotates. They divide the planet vertically from the North Pole to the South Pole. An example of a meridian is the Greenwich Meridian, which gives the possibility, among other things, of classifying west and east. And the body has this as well, guys. And here are the meridians of the body. As above, so below. They have meridians in with the planets as well. Because when I used to show you guys, we used to see it when we looked at the stars and the planets, right? So the meridians and the chakras are located in the etheric body, which is the physical body, which, you guys, is the soul. Your body is the soul. And this is something that I had to learn as well. Okay? So you look here in the meridian lines, it just gives a distinction from which, like the stomach, the small intestines, all those things. It's just this separation, right? Okay, so let's get into the root chakra, which is located in the spine. And the color for this chakra is red. And also the musical note aligned with this chakra is a C note. We talked about this before, that your body, your glands, the bones, everything in your body resonates with a musical note, right? And so for the root chakra, it's the note of C. And this is the emotional, and this is where you have your emotional and mental stability. Now, in the beginning of the video, I said that most people are right here in this chakra, right? And remember, it's levels of consciousness and awareness, all right? I want you to think about it in that way. As a chakra, as consciousness, because it's really talking about your whole body as your soul, okay? Now, it controls consciousness of survival and well-being. So security, food, shelter, abandonment, loss of physical faculties. So it's just about surviving, having your basic needs met at this stage. It controls the fight or flight mechanism. Now, this is the center of alter ego. Remember, I told you guys in episode 2, we talked about that split personality. It's indifferent towards others, selfishness, your survival and possessions come first, and violent behavior. And we see that a lot, right? Also, with the fight or flight, when your body goes in fight or flight mode, it puts it under extreme stress. So let's, for instance, it pulls from different areas of your body. All right. So it's got to pull the energy and get you ready to protect yourself or to fly, to fight or to take off running. And so the digestive system at that time is not able to function like how it normally could, because when you're in fight and flight mode, you're going to pull from that area. You're going to pull from the other areas. And what has happened here is that a lot of times, guys, if we're in the root chakra, where most of society is here, that's why you have all these different stresses. It just takes a big toll on the body. Unnecessary, right? Unnecessary toll on the body. And these are the things that I'm listing here. These are emotions that you see with this chakra. Selfishness. See, I told you the soul, we have to go through a renewing of the soul. Humanity has split from how it's originally supposed to be, which is lovingness, kindness, the fruits of the spirit. We've split. And so now we have to go through a renewing of the soul. So when you get here to this part of your body, consciousness, this is the things that you see under this split identity: selfishness, indifference, violent behavior. When it's overactive, it's paranoid, aggressive, right? So if these are things, you guys, I want you to look at your own self. And it also helps you understand other people also that you come in contact with aggressive behaviors, you're bossy. This is where they're operating from, this chakra. Nervousness and fear. Fear is ego, guys. Fear. Underactive, apathy, weakness, depression, passiveness, that passive aggressive stuff, like, oh, I don't care. I don't care if you leave my life. I don't care. Because you're in that fight or flight mode. That's why you don't care. You don't want to be hurt. This is the root chakra where most of people are at right now. When I was little, my grandmother used to always tell me, Naaman, stop saying you don't care. Stop saying that. But it is a defense mechanism when you hear people say stuff like that. Balanced. When it's balanced, you're grounded and you have more trust in the world. Right? You have more trust. When you're unbalanced, you're afraid, anxious, or fatigued, and you have a lot of physical ailments. And the reason why you have a lot of physical ailments because this area affects your spine, skeletal, immune system, and adrenal gland. Right? So you're going to see when this chakra is unbalanced, you're going to have a lot of pain in your body, like with your back, the spine, right? Sciatic nerve. Because this area is blocked. And what I'm reading off to you is emotions. Emotions are just energy in motion. That's it. And when your soul is bombarded with these negative emotions, remember, it comes from the subconscious mind, from this false reality that you're in, this ego. These are the children of the mind. These emotions, these negative emotions, whereas it should be love, kindness, peace, long suffering. But this is what you see today as a result of this split, guys. And so these are the things that have to happen to bring the soul back into beautiful harmony. All the planets, when you see the planets lining up in that road that's going to happen in June, the end of this month, that's what's happening, guys. It's trying to bring humanity, the soul, back into beautiful harmony, the way it's originally created, the divinity. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys that the element associated with the root chakra is earth. Oh, earth. Remember the 12 constellations and the elements that go with each: fire, wind, and all those things, guys? Well, each part of your consciousness is aligned to an element. So the root chakra is aligned to earth. We could just do a whole nother lesson on this. We could just do a whole nother one on this, but I'm going to keep going because I know you got it. I know you got it. Okay. I told you the angels are here to minister to you. And that each one of those constellations has a ministering, has a different way, a way that it ministers to that different part of your body. Because remember, it's bringing awareness and consciousness. The stars are the storehouse of the Holy Spirit. The planets, storehouse of the Holy Spirit. The sun, moon, all of that, you guys. I hope you guys are getting this. I'm so excited about this stuff. In my head, it's I get it, but to impart the knowledge so other people can understand it, sometimes that's where the roads cross. But I pray that you guys are getting this. All right. So I'm going to take my time and just go through all of this. You guys can stop, come back to the video, but definitely watch it all the way through. Let's go to the sacral, which is the middle of the abdomen. And I think I spelled that word wrong. Sorry. That happens sometimes. All right. This color is orange, and the musical note that aligns with this is the D note. Right? This is the center of procreation. The main function of this part of our brain is to ensure dominance and survival of the species. You see the world in terms of desires. And remember, we talked about desires in episode 2, and we talked about who actually gives us desires. It is a part of the creation process to have a desire, but mankind has misinterpreted the desires that the Most High gives us. Bring creative inspiration for art and improvement of relationships and connection with others. That's what happens in this chakra. So when it is balanced, it enjoys life, feels happy, takes pleasure in sensual experiences, and it is creative, right? When it's unbalanced, it struggles emotionally in relationships, right? When it's unbalanced. This is like a marriage seminar also, you guys, because and just a life lesson. When you're dealing with people, you can see what's going on with them, because like I said, energy and emotions are just energy in motion. And a lot of times when people are not saying and telling you something, you can still feel it because it's energy. So they're struggling emotionally in relationships. They're emotionally unbalanced, basically. Boredom, low sex drive, reproductive issues, urinary discomfort. So those urinary tract infections. This chakra can become misaligned if you are in unsatisfied relationships. And so a lot of times, sisters, and if you have children, you might want to let them come out the room, because we're going to go deep into this. A lot of times, sisters, when you're in relationships and you're not happy and you're not satisfied, you notice that you'll get a lot of people get like a lot of urinary tract infections. There's something about that relationship that you're not mentally satisfied with. Yes. Yes. And let's keep going. All right. Overactive, it's greediness, addiction, anxiety, compulsiveness, and frustration. So this is where the overeating and stuff comes from. Addiction, like you see how some people are pack rats in their homes. Alcoholism, drugs, right? This is this chakra right here. Frustration. It's all right here. And I'm going to say this again. I want to reiterate that the human body, which is the soul, was not created to experience these things. It was not. These emotions that I'm going over, it was not created to ever experience this. This is why we have to go through the renewing of the soul. When it's underactive, it's disinterest, repressed feelings, self-deprivation, depression, and denial of bodily pleasure. All here in this chakra. And the element associated with this one is water. Water. Let me see. Did I forget to tell you the body parts that come with this one? I think I did tell you guys. For this one, it's the urogenital system. That's which one it deals with. All right. Your reproductive system. All right. So the next one, solar plexus. This is your upper abdomen. And the note for this, it's yellow. And the note for this one is E. This is the seat of your emotions. This right here is the seat. This is where everything, all emotions, everything is. See, when we talk about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, a lot of times we just label it with two different areas. But I'm showing you this is your whole body. It's the feelings of personal power, anger, hostility, self-esteem, autonomy, and determination. Our intuition is stored here. That gut feeling that you get, it's in this area right here. It's dominant personality. A lot of times what you see with this, you would see a dominant personality. You know, like those people who just, you meet some people and they're just, what's the word? They just have like this stoic, this domineering type of vibe. And see, that's where vibe comes from, is emotions, because it's energy in motion. That's it. That domineering type of thing. They're extremely competitive, assertive. You guys, I spoke a while ago on my channel about competition. And a lot of people talking about, healthy competition. But we were not ever supposed to be in any type of competition, you guys. Right? So when someone is in competition, this is a spirit that I can feel so strong. I feel all of them, but when someone is in competition with me, and and this happens a lot, and I'm just gonna be a little transparent with you guys. For me, especially with being on YouTube, when I meet people, I can tell when they automatically move into a heart posture or a posture of being in competition with me. I'm the first one to tell you guys I don't pronounce everything right. I don't say everything right. I don't spell everything correctly. But I will notice when I'm around people, they would automatically move into a competition or some type of insecure mode around me. And my heart towards them is nothing but love. But, this is something that they're going through, and I can feel it. And I try to just show respect and love towards them, but you can feel it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Extremely competitive, assertive, courageous without considering the consequences. Sacrifice family and friends to achieve his or her ends. That's this loyalty of family. Control of others through fear, anger, resentment, vengeance, and inflamed emotions. Right here, this is like the narcissistic Jezebel spirit right here, guys. And that Jezebel spirit, which is not gender specific, it happens in men and women, is running rampant among the Lord's people right now. It's running really rampant. It's divisive, it's bossy, it's controlling, it's unemotional, it's over emotional. And it projects. It would make you think, it would be insulting you and plotting behind your back, but would make it seem that you're the one that's doing it. That's what that Jezebel spirit does. It takes down the kings and the queens. And it's running rampant right now. So it sacrificed family, friends, to achieve their own goals and ends. It's controls of others, fear, anger, manipulation, resentment, vengeance, and inflamed emotions. When it's balanced, it's confident, focused, and committed to his or her path. Remember, these are the levels of consciousness awareness. And you see why the Lord has to quicken us. Because humanity has gone off. Unbalanced. It's poor self-esteem, overcompensate for your lack of confidence by being overly aggressive and dominant. So most people who you see, guys, who they have low self-esteem, they're going to overcompensate, and you're going to see those qualities of them being very aggressive and dominant. But really behind the scenes, they don't have any self-esteem, but they're going to present themselves as people who have the most confidence, but they don't. And if you're in tuned, you can feel these things, guys. And a lot of times, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, when you are that type of person that is very sensitive to energies, a lot of people say they are, but they're really not. But when you are in tune with a lot of, or you're sensitive, it helps you learn how to treat people, but also you can feel it and know what's going on with people. And guess what? They know, and they won't want to come anywhere around you because they know that you can see and feel what's really going on with them. But pray for them. Physical symptoms: digestive and stomach issues, becomes misaligned if you experience failure or unpleasant social interactions. I'm going to tell you something, guys. A lot of the church hurt and everything like that, it will throw this solar plexus chakra off. And a lot of people experience church hurt. I've talked about that in my previous videos. It's very important who you align yourself with. Many are called, but few are chosen. All should be really called, guys, but many people just coming in, and you got a lot of these leaders, you guys, who have not gone through any process of renewing of their minds, but they are in charge of people. This information I'm talking about, they don't even know what this looks like. And then you have some that have beautiful hearts and souls, but they meet so much opposition from the people who they're sent to help that they just fall back. Physical symptoms. I said digestive and stomach issues. Let's go into when it's overactive. It's bossiness, narrow-mindedness. You guys, we see this all the time. And this is one spirit, you guys, one energy that I don't even want to be around it. Like that bossiness and the judgmental that comes with this mindset of being narrow-minded. Ooh, it's so repelling. It's abrasiveness, dictatorship. You know those people who just like rude? Very just abrasive. When it's underactive, it's wishy-washy, inability to concentrate. They can't focus. Naive, oblivious, and ignorant. That's what you see. You know, those people you talk to, just ignorance. Racism is ignorance also. The element with this one is fire. The heart. We're going to take some time and go through the heart because this is a deep one, guys. This is green and it is F note. And it's the center of love, harmony, and peace, and seat of the soul. This is the seat of the soul right here. The same way you have the sun, which is the center of the universe or the center of the galaxy. You have the heart, which is the center of the soul. And I'm going to go a little deeper here for you guys. The Lord created all people. But when it comes to the different nations, Israel is supposed to be the heart of the people, the soul of the people. Israel is supposed to be like how the sun is. It's supposed to be the like how the heart is to the soul, and it is supposed to be the soul of the people. Israel. Let's take a look at the heart. So now Israel can know what it's supposed to be doing right now. It's located at the center of the chest where the heart is the center of the solar system, where the sun is like the center of the solar system. Now the lower chamber connects us to human love. Okay, women of Israel, women in general. But I'm really trying to narrow in on Israel right now because there's a work that Israel was supposed to be doing here on earth. All of the nations have something that they contribute to this. But Israel, like how Christ had a specific work to do. All right, so the upper chamber connects us to divine love. So see, here you have masculine and feminine again, right? The men of Israel, the masculine, supposed to connect us to the divine love, which is pink. Yes, pink. In the middle of the two chambers is an altar, which is the secret chamber of the heart. We're going to talk in depth about this chamber because this is also in the heavens. This is also in the heavens. This is the center or eye of the heart and the place of union between upper and lower chakras. On this altar rests the threefold flame, which is love, wisdom, and power. Israel, love, wisdom, and power. If we have balanced flame, we have a balanced life. The heart chakra as a whole is the center of love. Who is God? God is love. What is Israel supposed to bring into the world? Love. You are the bridge. It's supposed to bring love, harmony, peace, and it is through this chakra that we fall in love. Israel, your job was to bring back the love, harmony, and peace into the world. Why do you think you have so much melanin? You're supposed to be light. You're supposed to bring the light wherever you go. And I just think about like some places I've been where it's around the other nations. And as soon as Israel comes on the scene, there is singing, there's love, there's laughter, supposed to be most of the time. This is what they bring: music, dance. You're supposed to bring back the original soul to the earth, how we were created to be. Through the song, through the music, through the love, through the laughter, through the jokes. Through you being the example of how God would be, is. It was through Israel. You're supposed to be showing the other nations and bringing them back to this consciousness and this awareness. That's what Israel is supposed to do. You also can see here how the relationship between a man and a woman should be as well also. But right now, Israel, the men of Israel don't like the women of Israel. The women of Israel don't like the men. When you were created to be a powerhouse of spirituality, Israel right now is living in ego. So you have the sun and the heart at the center. And I just told you how Israel is at the center of the nations as the soul food, soul people. Yes. Let's talk about the heart a little bit more. When we meet someone, we're attracted or drawn to, that energy registers on the second chakra, right? So right here, second chakra, the sacral, right? We talked about the reproductive. So that's where when you meet someone at first, that's where you are, right? And which is the center for attraction and passion, right? I'm showing you a process here because the soul goes through the same process, you guys. If and when feelings develop, the energy moves up to the third chakra, which is the navel, the center of feelings and emotions. And this is the same process as a soul, you guys. It's the same process. As those feelings grow, the energy eventually moves to the lower chamber of the heart. And we identify and we feel as love. That's what we feel. That's where we feel love right there. See how it moves? Right? When the Holy Spirit is able to move in your life, it just moves through. This divine spirit, which is really his spirit, is supposed to be able to just flow through us, guys. And it's a process. Song of Solomon, you guys got to get into Song of Solomon because it is the journey of the soul. The marriage of the soul. Song of Solomon. Sooner or later, that energy moves up to the fifth chakra, which is the throat. And we express what we feel in our heart. If we are lucky, the person is going to accept what we are expressing with an open heart. As time goes, the energy moves to the sixth chakra, which is the center of vision. Now, see the process? Here we start creating the imagery of the future. If you have a partner who shares a spiritual life with you, you will be able to move that energy to the seventh chakra. See the power of, not only is this showing you the journey of the soul, but it's showing you also how a relationship is to progress. Our human relationship is to progress in the same way. This is why we have to be in our divinity when we choose partners, because it's actually supposed to elevate your soul. It's not supposed to bring your soul down. It's supposed to elevate your soul and bring you back into oneness with the Father. Your relationship should do that also. It should do that. So it says, who shares a spiritual life with you, you'll be able to move that energy to the seventh chakra, which is the crown, to connect at a deeper, intimate, and spiritual level. All of this takes place. The energy of the crown chakra sends a signal to the first root chakra to anchor the experience in the physical plane. So at that chakra, that's when you have family and you take care of family. And that is the physical plane of this thing. See how it plays out. It has to happen in the realm of the spirit first, and then it's going to move to the physical. You are creators. All of the energy is returned to the heart for complete union between upper and lower chambers. So here is where physical and divine meet. And as a relationship progresses, the energies will continuously move through all the chakras, imprinting on them as your experience gets deeper with your partner. So see, it's very important that we do marry the person that the Lord has for us, because it should deepen and help your spiritual journey. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to be looking all beautiful like sunshine and raisins. That's an illusion, okay? Because even our journey of the soul is not a pleasant one. It's hard. And I'm just going to be honest. A lot of times you just be like, you don't want to do it. It's rough. But it is necessary and it must happen. And I'm showing you how all of creation is moving so all of this can happen for you. Now, Song of Solomon says, do not awaken love before it's time. This has to go through a progression. So a lot of times we want to witness to people and we want to, you hear a lot of people say, oh, I wish our people could do this. No, there is a process that the soul has to go through. Each soul has to go through a process. You are just supposed to shine your light by how you live. Ministry is not just when you come to church or when you go on YouTube. Ministry is a lifestyle, right? It's how you live your life. You don't have to go and be preaching to people. How are you living your life? That's your biggest witness. Do not awaken love before it's time. All right. Heart chakra continued. The upper chamber of the heart is reserved for your connection with divinity. That's like the masculine. Remember? Here is where you go to deeply pray, to meditate, to connect. When we raise our consciousness energy to the heart chakra, we set foot on a true spiritual path. But see, like I told you, most of the world is in the root chakra. The chakra is the matrix of nurturing, caring, energy, and it's the seat of our higher emotions of love, compassion, kindness, and empathy. And this is what I told you. This was supposed to be Israel. You're supposed to bring this back into earth. You're supposed to bring in caring, compassion, love, kindness, and empathy, like Christ did. Like the sun, when it's sending out those bursts of energies right now, when I told you it ties in with the covenant of peace and all the benefits, wholeness of mind, love, compassion, protection, safety, all those things. That's what's coming into the earth. The Lord is quickening our souls right now. Continuously operating daily from the heart, our energy, thoughts, and actions help us transcend the lower chakra issues that can keep us stuck. So when you get the heart chakra aligned, it will fix those other ones. It is in this chakra where blood and air unite. And this keeps the body, mind energized and purified. We talked about that every fiber of your body has a consciousness. And that consciousness is who, you guys? It's him. It's I am that I am. It's not a coincidence that their elements are tied to different parts of your body. The elements, we know that they are angels, and they are the storehouse for the Holy Spirit. I told you guys, you are divine, but yet human right now. But your truest nature is your divine nature. As the heart pumps, it generates the strongest electromagnetic field produced by the body. That's why I told you, Israel, you have all this melanin. You are supposed to produce so much light in this world. Let me show y'all. Seat of the soul. Look at Earth. When this area right here is charged, the electromagnetic wave vibrates 60 trillion cells in the body on an average of 60 to 7 times per minute. These frequencies are 100 to 1,000 times greater than the electromagnetic field frequencies generated by our brain. So your heart generates more frequencies than the rest of your body, than even your brain. So Israel was given all this melanin, and they were supposed to exude nothing but light. I'm not knocking the other nations. Everyone has a role to play, but I'm telling you what Israel was supposed to do. They can even be measured radiating up to 4 feet away from the body. That's that aura field. That light, when they come in your presence, they're supposed to feel the love of God. Not judgment and criticism and know-it-alls. No, that's not what we're supposed to bring back to this earth. Imagine the impact you could have in the world if you consciously develop the wisdom of your heart. Love is always patient, it's calm, it's generous, and it's kind. It's not a fool, though. Okay? It's not a fool. It's not a punching bag. It has clear boundaries. It is accepting of oneself and others. I'm speaking to Israel. I'm speaking to all of humanity right now. But Israel, when Christ cried and said, my people, he looked out on Israel. The heart chakra is the seat of the soul. When it's open, it's balanced, it's patient, it's kind, it's generous, it's peace, it's humor, it's forgiveness. It's not, and when in terms of Israel, it's not out here still dwelling on how you have been mistreated. Yes, you have been mistreated. You have been mishandled. Yes, but you are the light. Do you not think that the light would not be attacked? If you're the soul, do you think that that would not be attacked? You are a type of Christ. I'm not saying that you are Christ, but you're a type of Christ. He was bringing a different light back to this earth, and he was killed because the people couldn't understand. They didn't want that light. When light comes into a room, it triggers stuff in folks that got some issues. It's time to take authority, everyone. It's time to walk in our authority, which is in oneness with our Father, our divinity. It's not, it is loving. It's not a dictatorship. When it's a closed heart chakra, it's sadness, loneliness, suspicion, neediness, possessiveness, bossiness, and greediness. See, when I did a video on low self-esteem and rejection, there's some people who the Lord showed me the enemy turned them against me because I was starting to hit some layers there. See, I'm going to tell you guys, the ego, um, the subconscious mind that we have right now, it does not want to change. So it will rebel. It will rebel. Balance. An open heart chakra radiates love, creates connections with people. See, Israel? The heart chakra with people, animals, and the planet as a whole. That's that charity, that love. The heart chakra radiates the warmth, love, and this warmth can be felt through the hands. When it's unbalanced, relationships with others suffer. We struggle to relate or empathize with people. Physical symptoms: you have a lot of high blood pressure and a weak immune system. Like I was telling people with this, with all the light codes that's coming into the earth right now, it's going to shake up the body. Because I told you when we talked about the sun and we talked about from the books of remembrance, it said it's going to be a thorn in the side of the lazy. So a lot of the things, that discomforts that you're feeling right now, I told you your soul is going through a renewal. Yeah. Your DNA, everything is changing. He said he was going to pour out his spirit upon all flesh. And the angels only speak two languages: repentance and glory. So if you are displaying any of these characteristics, that's what's going to be focused on right now. And it's going to play out in your body. It's going to play out in your body. The throat chakra, it's blue. Located at the base of the throat. It's the center of communication. Now, self-expression and judgment. Controls the psychic consciousness of hearing. This includes telepathy as well as hearing the guiding wisdom of your soul. That's why I was telling you guys, when you have all these crystals in our bodies, and you can hear what the Lord is saying. That's how they speak to us, telepathically. And guess what? We will be able to eventually speak with others like that when we all are on that one great consciousness or awareness. Yeah. If this is making sense to you and you're following me through YouTube, leave a comment down below. If this resonates, leave a comment down below. This is deep stuff, guys. This chakra needs a lot of healing. The patriarchal societies that have developed over the past few centuries has suppressed this divine feminine. Men have overused and abused this chakra, whereas women have underused it. The emotions of this chakra is faith and understanding. It also governs independence. Mentally, it governs fluid thought and spirituality. It governs a sense of security. It plays a part in lucid dreaming, chanting, toning, singing, and speaking with conviction and truth. Now, one of the services that I do offer is toning and sound therapy. Because like I told you, your body, it registers on a musical note. I think I forgot to put the one for this one. Right. And so the different instruments and have these different notes. They help your body release a lot of these emotions. Remember when David played the harp for Saul and it says that the evil spirit came out of Saul? Well, the Bible has a way of saying some things and making it a little bit more scary. But I know they did that so that people could get it. But remember, we talked about bad energy and good energy. And we know that these emotions that some of us have, like being afraid, anxiety, those are bad emotions. The human body was never to experience that. So when you do sound therapy, it does help release those energies. Okay. All right. But I know we've been programmed to believe that a lot of these things are witchcraft and satanic. But I really know that people demonize things when they really don't understand it. And we're going to go in depth and get a deeper understanding of these different healing techniques and practices, because taking the 5 million prescriptions, that's not good for you. That's not good for you when there are natural things that you can do for the human body, for the human soul. Okay? Those things, those like toning and sound therapy and things like that, they actually, the vibration of these activities affect the body down to the cellular level. Vibration, guys. Tesla tried to tell people it's about energy, frequency, and vibration. The throat chakra continued. Now, when it's overacted, there's distraction, negativity, resentfulness, okay? Preoccupation with others, you and everybody business. You think everything's about you. Gullible, abusive language. I showed you guys how speaking wrong and all those things, how it affects water. You're made up of water. All right. So you got to be careful about who you align yourself with, what company you keep, because energy does not die. It just transfers. And it's actually a lot of these relationships you have throw your chakras out of alignment, and they cause these different emotions to come in you. Right. You have to be careful of the ground, the soil that you have planted yourself in. Underactive is dishonesty. The throat chakra right here is where you see a lot of dishonesty, lying, willfulness, hostility, confusion, repressed emotions. When it's balanced, you have communication with others will be effective and efficient. When it's unbalanced, it struggles with keeping secrets and it's not able to express itself clearly. Y'all probably sitting here saying, whoa. You see a lot of this in yourself, but you also see a lot of it in the company that you keep, because remember, energy is always going to attract itself. You put someone with some balanced chakra in the midst of this, they're going to hate that balanced person, because it's mirroring back to them everything that they're not. Yes. So you have to really be careful about the groups and the people that you are around. When it's unbalanced, it struggles with keeping secrets. Okay, I said that part. Physical symptoms: pain in the neck, sore throats, stuttering, mouth ulcers, instances of poor communication, such as a bad interview or argument, can shift the throat chakra. See? The element is ether. It's the upper regions of air. And the heart was also air also, guys. The heart chakra, I think it was air, yeah. You see the elements, how they're associated with the different parts of your body? You are the tree of life. Third eye. This is the A note. And it's located at the center of the forehead. This chakra is used to examine and question spiritual nature. Our inner vision is also contained here. So remember the books to remember saying your vision or creative purpose is right here. It includes inner gifts of clairvoyance, wisdom, and perception. Vision and dreams are held in this chakra. All right. So this is like the astral body part of you. Your heart and your throat would be considered like the astral part, right? So we move from the physical. Now we're moving into the spiritual part of consciousness, guys. And this is where duality ends. The duality of the mind, that split that we now have. Once you get to this level of consciousness, that's where it ends. All right. And the masculine and feminine energy connect here, which is heaven and earth. Remember we talked about divinity and man. This is where they meet. This is the marriage that takes place. You guys got to read Song of Solomon. So here you have balancing high and lower selves. Here is where we look within. We create a vision within, and then we manifest that vision outwardly in our lives. Episode 2, we talked about creation. First, an idea happens in the mind. Then by desiring, then by thinking, and then by speaking forth the word, then it will then manifest. And that is divine power. Now you speak forth the word. Now, if you're out here speaking forth bad things, then you're going to create those things in your life. When you're connected to the pineal gland, it's connected to the pineal gland, and which is light. It's sensitive. It's a sensitive gland that produces melatonin hormone. It's light. That's why I was giving you guys a scenario about Israel. You're supposed to be the light for the nation, for mankind. You're the soul. You're the center of the soul. See, the Most High, he doesn't change in how he does things. You have the sun, which is the center of the solar system. You have the heart, which is the center of the soul. Then you have a people that represents that same model. ESP. So when it's blocked, when this chakra is blocked, you may experience feelings of worthlessness, or you may doubt yourself. When it's balanced, your intuitive ability improves, memory and imagination. When it's physical symptoms of this is trouble sleeping and struggle with learning new things. So something like this would be hard for you to learn if this chakra is imbalanced. Now, the element associated with this is ESP. So see, we're no longer in the physical. We've moved to another realm of consciousness right here. So the element would be ESP. This is perception outside of the normal sensory capability, the faculty of perceiving things by means other than the known senses. So this is you're in the realm of the spirit here, right? This is like events that are going to happen before time. Telepathy, people who are connected to each other with affection of love. So anyone that is connected to you in this consciousness, you can communicate with them. Because remember, we're all one consciousness. But if you're in a split mentality, that can't happen. And some people are probably thinking, oh no, she's gone off in bonkers when you start talking about telepathy. But I'm going to tell you something. There was someone that I was praying for in my meditation of love and kindness, right? And part of that prayer was for them to be happy, right? This is what I'm talking about with telepathy, because I wasn't speaking this out loud. This was an internal prayer. And the next day, someone came to me and told me about this person. They said, they're really happy now. They're going to these different things in their life. They just seem really happy right now. What happened is, guys, that this person we're all connected in consciousness. We're all connected, guys. And when you move into the authority of your divinity, you can move mountains. You move mountains. This is not a joke. You can speak a word and it's going to happen. Third eye chakra continued. And the reason why you can speak that word is because who is in you? Who is in you? It's that ancient spirit that I am, that is in you. So when you speak a word, that's him speaking it. I told you another one, we have been misusing him and his power. When it's overactive, it's hallucination, false reality, paranoia, tendency to space out. And it's underactive, it's a lack of imagination, insensitivity, absorption, and narrow-mindedness. We talked about in episode 2, masculine and feminine energy when they connect. You have the Corbin Bible. It talks about creation. When we were created, the universal womb, right? And then with creation, regular creation, you have the sperm and the egg. The masculine and feminine energy connect in this chakra. The marriage takes place. The marriage of the soul takes place here. You become one back with the original manufacturer, your original consciousness, which is the I am that I am, the Most High. In this chakra. Remember, I told you it's a level of consciousness. And I'm going to tell you guys something about this chakra here. Now, when your third eye is open, this is not a game. This is not a joke. When that third eye is open and you feel it right here in between your eyebrows, some of you may be experiencing this now. You feel what would be, if you had to give it something that it would be equivalent to, it would be an orgasm. That's the pleasure that you feel right there in the middle. It feels so good. It's beautiful feeling. It's love, joy, kindness, right? This is the marriage of the soul. Whatever happens in the realm of the spirit, it happens in the earth. Men and women are really just playing out the journey of the soul. So here, when a man and woman come together, that's that oneness. They have sex, and then you have, well, hopefully, if all your chakras are aligned, you will have an orgasm. Both of you will enjoy the moment. In the realm of the spirit, your third eye opens up, it releases, and you feel that feeling. That is also a type of oneness. You are sealing your marriage. Your marriage of the mind, you're sealing it. And some of you are experiencing that and you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you what that is. That's that marriage that's happening. Some people have labels and say, well, this person doesn't live this type of life, but they're experiencing this, so they can't be having this moment. But you don't know someone's journey. All of our journeys are different. We really need to mind our own business. The Crown Chakra, this is white. It's the B note. It's located at the top of your head. It is the chakra of divine purpose, the chakra of destiny. It is the doorway to the spirit and the transpersonal chakras. So you see what happens when you marry, when your mind marries, when a man and woman marry, you're supposed to elevate. It takes you deeper into your divinity. Now, the transpersonal state just is a state of consciousness beyond the limits of personality and identity. So this is that oneness with God. You think how he would think. You do what he would do. You say what he would say. You're back in your knowing. You know his heart. You know what he would say. You know what he would do. He's moving through you. He is moving freely through you and expressing himself. It balances the interior and the exterior, bringing them into harmonious whole. It is also called the 1,000 petal lotus. This is like, you guys, if you look at it right here, this is like a Garden of Eden. Everything happens in the realm of the spirit first, guys. Erykah Badu had this song out back in the early 90s, I think, where she said, "Bring me water for my mind." Bring me water for my mind. Your mind is a type of garden. And this is what the Song of Solomon was talking about as well. Remember that verse I quoted in episode 1, where Israel's water buckets would always be full and their crops would have plenty of water. That's in Numbers 24:7. Your mind should always have the anointing of the Holy Spirit. This chakra has no sound. It is complete silence. Now, let's take a look, because I told you the Bible is just about the journey for the soul back to the Father. When you read, it says, when the Lamb opened the seventh seal. So here we're talking about the seventh chakra. It's just silence. This is divinity. So it says, when the Lamb opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. What? It was silence. This chakra is completely silence. This is divinity. The crown chakra is also connected to the pineal gland, and it governs the consciousness of spiritual awakening, inner wisdom, and enlightenment. Look at the Schumann Resonance. Look at the light that's coming in right now. It governs the consciousness of spiritual awakening. I told you this is a renewing of the mind. Opening the seventh chakra can be sacred, can bring sacred energies to the heart. Regular meditation and prayer can activate this center. The opening can be maintained if the desire is true and the intention stays focused on love, compassion, and service. If you're going to be about trying to take people's money and trying to act like you're so great and you have all the knowledge and you're using it to belittle people, that third eye chakra is not opening. I don't care what people say. You cannot have that third eye open outside of God. Notice that there isn't any emotions for the chakra because it's divine. It's a type of Garden of Eden. It creates life. It creates a life you love and achieving inner peace. When it's balanced, it allows you to be in harmony with your life and the world around you. You will be thoughtful and you will be better prepared to face life's challenges. When it's unbalanced, you feel lost, confused, or depressed. Your physical ailments will be like chronic headaches and fatigue. Elements right here for this one is thought and pure light. That's it. Just pure light. Right here. Pure light. Pure light. The eighth chakra is the eighth chakra and above, because there are more. Because we have like the seven heavens, the levels of consciousness. That's what this is. It reigns with the Messiah. And this is why I'm doing these videos. Gold or white. This is preparing us for this golden age. You can think of the eighth chakra as the golden age where we are with him in peace and harmony. And don't get caught up in how you think this is supposed to look, guys. Okay? All right. So it says, some say this chakra does not, in fact, have a color. Instead, it is suggested that the eighth chakra color is ultraviolet or iridescent frequencies we cannot see. Remember, there's some light frequencies the light that we don't see. So they're saying it's associated with this one. It's anywhere from 1 inch to a few inches above the crown. The element here is the soul. And the themes, timelessness, transcendence, and heightened perception. One of the things that happens on this journey of the soul is that you're not so focused on time. You move out of this sense of time, like when you expect things to happen, and you more move in a mindset of being in this present moment. That's what happens, because time, for me, I think time creates anxiety. What's associated with time sometimes is due dates. You got to get this done, got to get that done. But on this journey, when you start moving up in your consciousness and your awareness in the realm of the spirit, time tends to go by the wayside. Now, of course, if you have time, things that you got to meet because you're here, yes, that makes sense. But for you, in your journey, when your expectations of miracles or things that happen, you move out of that mindset. Even waiting for Christ to come, you move out of that mindset, because then you will really look at what's happening right now is that the spirit is moving in this earth right now. Messages. It connects with your higher self. It disengage from the mind, open to divine love, uncover your purpose. With the Eighth Chakra is underactive, you will feel lost without purpose, disconnected from the collective community, or trapped in the illusions of ego. Ego is something serious, guys. When the Eighth Chakra is overactive, we may feel disconnected from our body and the earth. We feel unbalanced or confused about how to bridge our earthly and spiritual sides. It is the first of the higher chakras in the 12 chakra system. So we have the 12 constellations. You really have 12 chakra systems. The 12 tribes. In many ways, it's similar to the 7th chakra, which is the Crown Chakra, but it's more expansive than the limitations of the human experience. Above this energy center, 4 more chakras reside, and each of these higher chakras is a continuation or expansion of the transcendent quality of the 8th chakra. Remember, guys, every emotion has its own vibrational frequency and energy. That's what I wanted to show you in this presentation. Disease is caused by stagnant or blocked energy. The quality and a sound of being deep, full, and reverberating, that is what resonance is. It got cut off here. So really, resonance is a voice. And some synonyms for voice is thunder, roaring, echoing. This is what the Most High is doing. He is waking up the souls and bringing your body, your soul into harmony, true harmony. We still have a choice, and that choice is you can stay unaware. You can still stay here and think that you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. You can mentally just shut down and don't accept the healing, the wholeness of mind that is coming into the earth right now. And some people have made that choice. I had a dream a few months back. And in the dream, I was in a center just like this. And I saw all these lights just whirling around me, and I could hear them. And then I ran across these pictures, and then I started to understand. And a lot of you are having dreams like this, and there's no one to help you understand it. These colors of the chakra, like when you see red, that's dealing with the red, the root chakra, that carnal state of awareness that you're in. It's trying to fix that. And so when you start acting out even more, that's a time for you to tune in and say, okay, this chakra, this level of consciousness is ruling, and it is not supposed to be ruling. It should be in balance. When you see green, that's the heart chakra. That light is coming in to deal with the heart, right? If you're balanced, you're going to feel confident. You're going to feel the love, harmony, kindness. The angels of the Lord are here to minister to man. And these light codes that's coming in, that's what that is. Resonance and harmony. The condition in which an electric circuit or device produces the largest possible response to an applied oscillating signal, especially when it is inductive and it is capacitate rectance are balanced. So I told you guys, look at this. This is resonance. It's bringing in harmony. We're going to get into hair also a little later, because people need to understand hair. Israel needs to understand why their hair is the way that it is. If you enjoyed this podcast, stay tuned for the next one, episode 4. We're going to dig in a little deeper into some other topics. Thank you all for stopping by. Be sure to check out our website, Restore Peace and Harmony. If you're coming in from YouTube, from the podcast, you can see this video on the actual on YouTube, Naima Laverne. Naima Laverne on YouTube. Sorry, guys. Thank you all for stopping by the channel. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Have a great day and be sure to be a blessing and let your light so shine.